He came in the room, he's like, oh, we gotta go. Joe's been in an accident.
I mean, it just stops you right in your tracks. You're speechless. You don't, it's just horrifying, to see that happen to your son.
The doctor told us he might not make it. And John said I let out this yell.
It was July 2018. 20-year-old Joe DiMeo was driving home on Route 22 in Hillside following a long overnight shift. DiMeo fell asleep and lost control. He hit a curb and utility pole, causing his car to overturn and burst into flames. Fire consumed him. He was on the brink of death.
I was just praying. Just like, how did this happen? Why did it happen?
Burns covered 71% of Joe's body when he arrived at Cooperman Barnabas Burn Unit. His eyelids, lips, and ears seemingly melted away. His fingers literally fused together.
So I was in a coma for 3.5 months. I remember nothing of this, and I wasn't even going into work that day. I just remember waking up at the hospital.
Miraculously, Joe survived the crash, but would face months of painful skin grafts and surgeries with a seemingly impossible recovery and rehab ahead.
I had little nails on my fingers, so I couldn't really do anything with them. I couldn't move them because the burns were so tight, because they're third-degree burns.
Once strong and independent, he would now have to rely on his parents for even the simplest tasks.
Your heart racing, you don't know what to do. You want to help, and you're helpless.
Doctors said there were no options to improve his unrecognizable face, and the use of his hands were very limited. A plastic surgeon suggested an unprecedented surgery, a face and double hand transplant. If successful, they would make medical history. But how could waking up to a stranger in the mirror affect Joe's identity? For Joe, the prospect of a new face, and even more so, new hands and a renewed independence, was worth the risk. But his family was reluctant.
I was like, crazy, inside, and Joe's like, yes, I want to go. I want to go for it. Yeah, from the get-go, he was like, yes, I want to do this.
In August 2020, Joe put his life in the hands of Dr. Eduardo D. Rodriguez. Following a 10-month wait, a donor was identified. The risks were high, but it was Joe's chance of a more normal life.
Well, first of all, he said, you can die from this. That was his opening statement. Every time we saw him, he would say, just want to let you know, you can die from this surgery.
Well, today's going to be a great day. You're a great patient, so I want you to have positive thoughts. Our team is ready to make this happen. We've trained. We know what to do. We're prepared for anything that may present itself. And let's go get him. Let's go do it.
Following a 23-hour transplant surgery at NYU Langone, Joe emerged transformed. A new face and 2 new arms.
His fingers, oh my gosh, beautiful. Face, beautiful. It was nice. It was just amazing.
An ear-to-ear smile went on my face. I looked at Rose and I said, look at me. Look, I said, this thing's gonna work. It's gonna be okay. I'm telling you. I said, I don't know what's going on right now, but I just got a great feeling.
It was a little shocking, but it's like, well, this is it now, so gotta keep pushing forward. I do think of my old face here and there, and it's weird in a way to lose your face.
Following months of recovery at his parents' house, Joe would eventually move out. He would end up renting this North Bergen apartment with his girlfriend Jessica. The two met online more than a year after the surgery when Joe shared news about his medical procedure on Instagram.
Joe is an incredible person, and I think he is just this. He's so patient and so gentle, so soft, and he's so strong at the same time, you know. And I just can't get over the things that he's able to overcome, and he doesn't care what people think, and he's so confident.
But Joe's medical journey was far from over. He's been hospitalized at least 6 times for infections and low-level organ rejection. He'll take immunosuppressant medications the rest of his life. Still, nothing seems to impact his positive nature. He says he never really dwells on his new face, but rather is more focused on having functional hands and reclaiming his life. A therapist he saw at one point during his recovery even wondered whether his optimism was genuine.
I'm just a positive person, and if you just keep thinking about positive things, it's a mindset in a way, because if you thinking positive stuff, something positive is going to happen. You know, having my own life back. I never thought that would be possible again when I was burnt, but it's possible. If you keep pushing forward, it's possible.
Joe's desire to get his life back would depend on him being focused and proactive with his own health. He makes regular trips to the hospital for tests and to occupational therapy to work on fine motor skills.
I'm just doing like these things called PEGs, and it's pretty important in recovery. Not my favorite one to do, but it helps you just with like pinching and like trying to maneuver the peg into the hole correctly in order for it to stay in there.
After a month of therapy, I saw like really noted gains, really, just in things he was able to do in sessions that he couldn't do like the first maybe 2 weeks, and then he's been able to progress to.
It was a new start, and he was making progress, but his recovery would require discipline and hard work.
I like to adopt his positive outlook, and we're just going to say he's going to keep improving, keep showing gains, and we don't know. He's the first person in the world to have his hands and his face done at the same time, so we're all learning with him. From day one, it's just been about getting better and getting back to work and driving and living his life.
Joe is clearly trying to move on and reclaim his independence, getting back to normal life, whether it's working out again or driving go-karts with his girlfriend. And most importantly, doing whatever it takes to get there. Joe said he has experienced sadness from time to time, but the transplants were a kind of rebirth. Imagine a new face and 2 new arms. But it's still him. The real Joe is still there.
I didn't change as a person. It's just like a shell, kind of like a hermit crab in a way. It's the same person, different shell. Still the same guy, still the same personality. I just feel like I matured a little bit because I had a lot more time to think in the hospital bed.
I don't want to sound selfish, but, you know, he's still here with me. He has the same voice, his same eyes, you know, same personality. It's Joe. Joe's still in there. It's just different face, and it's beautiful. It's still my Joe, and he's still here with me. So,
of course, the mirror's reflection has changed. He understands it won't be his old face, but a new version of himself.
When I look in the mirror, I see myself in a way. I know what you see now. It's not the final step. what you see now is going to be totally different in 2 months. You know, and then the 2 months of me is going to look different in another 2 months, you know, so I would look a little bit like my old self.
Medical experts who've worked with transplant patients say such a drastic surgery can stir up psychological trauma or cause identity confusion. Uncertainty is not unusual. Whether that's the case for Joe or ever will be remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, Joe and the people who support him continue to look to the future, confident and optimistic.
It was a long journey to get to the point I am now, but I feel like my life just started again. I got a new chapter in life. I'm not going to pass anything up on it. I feel like I'm going to take every opportunity I can.
You can't imagine this. You can't think this up. It's just from the beginning to the end. It's a Cinderella story.
Joe's future it's going to be different than most other people. But I think he's going to be very successful in life. Yeah. I really think so.